Welcome back to another discussion video, Red Wave America, as we will be interviewing a guy named Bluetopium, or also known as Noah, on foreign affairs. Um, Noah, could you tell us about yourself before we begin this discussion video?
Certainly. Hello, Red Wave America. I'm Bluetopium. I'm a young white male living in America who mostly adheres to the far right agenda of American politics. I'm a college student, and I guess, been a Republican or right wing voter for the 3 years I've been voting, and I'm also a Christian. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, today we want to talk about foreign affairs overseas and all these wars. There's been so many wars in these last couple of decades during both the Bush's administrations, Obama, Joe Biden, Donald Trump. And I just want to get your take on all of this that we're doing, all the foreign aid and all that stuff. So, first of all, I want to ask you a very important question that a lot of people, a lot of Republicans and Democrats are divided on. And that is, what do you think of NATO?
NATO, that's a good question. I think NATO overall is a very good military organization. I do believe we have the right to be in it, and other countries do have the right to be in it. But there comes a point when it's between a military organization and pressuring, Russia or China to the point where they're gonna start targeting non-NATO members to the point where they'll, I guess I could say, to the point where they will target countries that will be in our interest, such as Ukraine or somewhere in the Middle East. I mean, NATO's gone back on its word where they won't expand westward, but they've got Finland, they got Sweden. Who knows what they'll do with Ukraine once this war ends, or if it does end. If they'll expand into like the Baltics, expand further near Turkey into the Caucasus. I think it's a good thing that we have NATO, but at the same time, is it just going to be pressuring Russia to the point where they will start, you know, shooting ballistic missiles towards, NATO countries to ease the pressure? Will they start, firing missiles to Israel? Hopefully. Will they start firing missiles towards, Iran, towards, Turkey? It's something that you got to think about, I guess I could say.
Yeah. So, do you personally think that America should be in NATO, or do you think we shouldn't be in NATO?
I think we should be in NATO. I think we should be like I don't want to say like this, but at the same time, I do think we should be like the world police. Other countries won't do it right. If we hand the power over to China, 10, 15 years, we're going to all be forced to be speaking Chinese. At least in America, we're letting the French speak French, Chinese speak Chinese, and, Russian speak Russian. But at the same time, it does come at a cost because we do have to foot the bill. I mean, we do have, $1 trillion military, but I guess that's what I could say.
Okay. So, you answered, I guess, my next question kind of. What do you think about USA trying to be the world police, like in general, in all these wars?
I do think we should be the world police, but to an extent, right?
Mhm.
We do have a really large military, and we do have a lot of military bases all over the world. But at the same time, it does come at a cost because we have to spend more and more money in our military instead of social services such as education, healthcare, infrastructure. So it does come at a cost, I do believe. But at the same time, who else is going to be the world's police? Do you really want China? Do you want India or Russia? It's something you got to think about. And who, maybe the EU, the European Union, but at the same time, do you think they would be able to handle the infrastructure of being the world's police, quote unquote? I guess that's what I could say about that.
So, what do you think of the thing that our taxes are going to all these wars. How is this putting America first? I should ask.
Hey, you broke up a little bit. What?
Like when we're spending our hard work tax money on these wars, how is this helping you and I in America?
I don't think it's helping us directly. I think it's helping us being the world power still. I do believe some of it is benefiting us. I know that some wars are fought over minerals. Like Trump's trying to get a mineral deal, or he did get a mineral deal in Ukraine. But at the same time, they're spending way too much money just to get, a couple thousand acres worth of land so they can mine all this, I guess, minerals and rare earth ores. At the same time, if it's costing thousands of American soldiers' lives just so they can get, a couple $1 billion worth of, you know, sulfur or sulfate, is that the cost of being the richest and most powerful country in the world?
Yeah.
Or, yeah,
I mean,
it's, I guess.
a lot of it, I feel like, is not American first. When we're, let's say, Ukraine, for instance, like that didn't really help us at all. It might have uh, politically over in Europe helped us in power wise, but back here at home, I feel like it's causing inflation and all that other stuff. Um,
Certainly.
so, do you think every war that we have been in the last 50 years was good for us?
No, I don't think the Iraqi war was good because we lost what? Not the Iraqi war, but just the Middle East alone, we've lost over $2 trillion worth, thousands of dollars worth of equipment. I mean, in Afghanistan alone, how many billions of dollars were lost just because of us moving out of Afghanistan? The 2003 Iraqi war, that cost us a lot. It was all in the name of, national security and safety, but at the same time, you know, we don't have Iraq anymore. We don't have Afghanistan anymore. It's cost us so much money just for us to, leave and give it back to the Afghanis and the Iraqis. I don't think that's putting America first because if they really wanted America first, they would have stayed there and they would have done the right thing and protected our sovereignty. But instead, they ruined the land, they ruined the agriculture, they ruined people's lives. And then a couple of years later, they just moved out, leaving billions of dollars worth of hard earned taxpayer dollars,
Yeah,
of military equipment and weapons. So I don't think so necessarily.
so there's a lot of wars going on at the moment. What do you personally think of the current conflicts that are going on? Should we be involved in all of this?
I I know the Israel and Gaza one will probably spark up soon in a different way, but at the same time, I don't think we should be giving Israel all these weapons since they are rich enough to pay for them. I do think instead of focusing on sending them bombs, we need to be sending them diplomats to try to end the war, especially the Israel Gaza one, because they're just carpet bombing Gazan citizens. I don't think that's how you win a war, just by killing a bunch of citizens. Also, with Ukraine and Russia, there's just so many people being killed because both of the governments are just now cramming people to the front lines and they're just shooting each other. I don't think that's how you win a war. I I really wish it would stop because most of these people are my age or people around near my age. This could be me, in Ukraine or Russia or in Palestine for that matter. I don't think this should be happening. I think it's inhumane. I think that millions of souls are going to be lost these next couple of years if nothing happens. And I don't like that.
Mm. So we'll separate those two conflicts that you just brought up. What are
Oh
your
boy.
full out stands on the Ukrainian war? Do you think that we should be involved in it? What are your thoughts on it? What side do you support?
I think if we do support a country, I think we should support Ukraine, but we shouldn't be giving them billions of dollars worth of weapons. I do think we should be encouraging Europe to give weapons because Europe is right there. It's on Europe's continent. It's a European problem. I think we should be sending them, people negotiating the end to this war because it's killing so many Ukrainians and Russians. And it's also wasting a bunch of European tax dollars and our tax dollars funding the Ukrainian military to push the Russians back into Russia. It's just something really sad that I see that so many people my age are being killed out there. I've seen a bunch of videos on Twitter of millions of, not millions, but hundreds of thousands of young people my age being butchered on the front lines, and I don't stand by that.
No, it is sad over there. What's going on? Um, so then on Israel, where's your stand on that war?
Oh gosh, I do think Israel. This is Israel's fault in the war because they have cameras everywhere. They have a strong border. They have hundreds of thousands of cameras. Looking at the Gaza Strip and the West Bank. I do think it's their fault because one day a bunch of their cameras, actually malfunction on October 6th or 7th, 6, 7. And they malfunction. All of them, all the Hamas soldiers started swarming Israel and started killing them. I do think it's partly Israel's fault, but at the same time, Hamas is a bad political party. Well, they quite literally are a political party. I do think it's partly Israel's fault. I don't think we should be. I don't think we should be giving them, billions of dollars worth of military equipment because they can pay for it themselves. They're a very wealthy nation. So much so they have universal health care, free college tuition, they give their rabbis free schooling. So I don't think we should be giving them, billions of dollars worth of weapons to fight Gazan children in Gaza.
What do you feel, or how do you feel Israel has handled the war? Like, do you feel like Israel's doing a good job in the war themselves, or because there's a lot of people who are divided on this issue? Like, there's a genocide, there's a lot of other things. Like, where do you stand on that?
I believe Israel's either genociding or on the brink of it. I mean, they're just carpet bombing cities in Gaza to the point where they don't even look similar anymore. So many pictures of, gone on the internet of buildings just being blown up in an instant because, they claim Hamas was, had a bunch of soldiers there, but when they investigated, there's nothing there, They just keep on blowing up, refugee camps, blowing up water systems and farms. I just don't think Israel's doing the right thing. I think they're paving the way for a new settlement for future Israeli citizens.
Hmm. So overall, do you think that we should be continuing giving our tax money or weapons or any money to Ukraine and to Israel and to any nation after that, or at the moment, I should say? Or should we be focusing on America first because we have a border crisis, we have a crime crisis? What should we be focusing on more?
I do think we should be focusing on America. I mean, there's a big crime problem. There's inflation. There's, the border, drug problems. I do think we should be focusing out on our nation first. And I don't think that's wrong because you're focusing on people. And a bunch of people are suffering because of, inflation, drugs, crime. It's a big problem. I've seen a lot of crime recently pop up. I've seen, drug problems such as fentanyl. And the border, it's just a mess. I do think we should be focusing on our country first. And if we do focus on other countries, it should be because it benefits us. like with Ukraine and the rare earth minerals. I think that if we're going to be involved with this war, we should at least get that out of the deal. If we're spending billions of dollars and sending billions of dollars worth of military equipment, we should at least have something on the table for us as at least a benefit for us to saving Ukraine and its democracy. Or with like Israel too. But Israel won't do that because, they're Israel.
What about sending our own military people to the other countries? What do you think?
We can't hardly hear you.
What about America sending their own soldiers to these countries? Do you think we should be doing that or no?
No, I don't think so. It would technically be an act of war, and NATO would get involved. It would just be a big mess. World War III would happen. I don't think that should happen.
Well, I mean, we did it for the Iraq War. We did it for the Gulf War. We did it for Vietnam and the Korean
Right.
War.
I don't agree with that. No, like I said, unless if it benefits us. But at the same time, I'd rather not put American soldiers on the front lines fighting in Iraq or Israel or Iran or wherever. I would not prefer that.
So, under the current administration of Donald Trump, do you like what they're doing at the moment with their foreign policies? Do you like where he stands? Or do you think there needs to be a change in some things?
I think he's decent. I do like how ended a couple of wars and conflicts. I do like how the Gaza war is, supposed to be ending. I do like that because I do believe it was a really bloody war.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe parts of it, like maybe with the whole tariffs, I'm a little bit iffy on because he uses tariffs to like bully other nations into submission. But I'm glad he's getting wars over, at least attempting to. Unlike the other administration where they just gave a blank check to Israel and gave a blank check to Ukraine. I do appreciate that. But at the same time, there will be more wars popping up. There will be more conflicts popping up, and I hope they can prevent those from happening or popping up.
Yeah. I mean, you got Venezuela, you got China and
Oh,
Taiwan.
right.
You got those two countries. I don't know about
Yeah.
any other. And then
Yeah.
even Israel and Iran, you got them at each other's throats a lot. We might be seeing another Iranian war again,
Yeah, I
which
hope
could be.
Iran wins, But anyways.
Well, let's hope not, because that would cause World War III. um, but yeah, anything else you would like to add before we close?
What would I like to add?
That's
Pray
yeah,
for the peace of this world.
yes.
Do not wish for war. War is terrible. And pray that APAC dissolves within the next week. And I guess that's all I have to say.
Oh, is it actually dissolving?
No, I said pray that it dissolves.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you so much, Noah, for doing this discussion video. And thank you, Red Wave America, for watching this next episode. God bless.